Chapter 11. My first encounter with a sprite. This is my own story, written in the third person, in a dialogue style for the sake of variety and interest. Read it carefully and make your own conclusions. It happened in December 1965 in Ipoh, Perak. I was then 15 years of age. My mother and I had spent 5 days in Buntong, Ipoh, during the Christmas holidays. Now we were packing our clothes to return home by bus. The bus ride would take about 20 minutes. My mother and I were living in the Ipoh new town, while Buntong was about 7 kilometers away in the old town near the Sungei Pari. Below is a dialogue between my mother and me. Mother, it is time to go home. We have been in your uncle's house for about 5 days now. Christmas is over. Let's return home. Samuel, yes, but I am not eager to go. I will be bored at home, seeing I have no friends to play with. Mother, I know, but we can't be living in your uncle's house forever. Let's be going. They bid goodbye to their uncle, aunt, and their little daughter, and walked to the bus stop nearby along the Sungei Pari road. Soon the bus arrived. Samuel flagged it down. They got in and paid their bus fares. The bus took off slowly and stopped at numerous places along the way. Finally, it reached the bus stop near the police station, at the junction of Cowan Road and Hugh Low Street, where they were supposed to alight. Samuel looked out of the window of the bus and saw a commotion on the road. Samuel, mother, look. There is a big crowd of people blocking the traffic. Something is happening here. Mother, let's be getting out of the bus here. Do not waste time. Samuel and his mother got out of the bus. There was a commotion at the bus stop. Cars, buses, and other vehicles were moving very slowly. An Indian man, dressed only in a sarong, was standing in the middle of the road. He was holding a long bamboo stick about 10 feet in length in his hand, and was waving it about around his head. The crowd's eyes were glued to the man. He was not wearing a shirt. He was barefooted. His hair was long and unkempt. His eyes were large, red in color, and had an angry look. He was cursing everybody in English, Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. None could get near him. There were some uniformed policemen standing among the crowd, but they could not arrest the man, for he appeared mad and had no conscience of his own. Samuel pushed himself through the crowd to see the man. He stood at the edge of the crowd and was wondering what was happening. Within a minute, the drama changed. The Indian man suddenly spotted Samuel. He pointed the pole towards Samuel and shouted at him in English, "Indian man, you Seventh-day Adventist Christian, come here. I will kill you." The Indian man moved towards Samuel with his long stick. This triggered fear into Samuel's young heart. His heart pounded. Immediately Samuel ran out of the crowd for protection, pushing everybody along his way, and tried to head towards his house about 800 meters away. Samuel was a good runner. The Indian man could not run with the clumsy pole in his hands. The chase was only about 30 meters. The crowd, too, dispersed at the time the Indian man chased Samuel. The traffic started to move, and the policemen were relieved that the crowd was dispersed slowly. After 10 minutes, the traffic once again flowed smoothly. When Samuel reached home, sweat was all over his brow and body. Mother arrived home a few minutes later. They both sat on the wooden bed, speechless. Mother put her hand on Samuel's head and tried to comfort him. "Mother, are you still afraid?" Samuel, yes. Why did the Indian man point his stick at me and start to chase me? Why did he say he wanted to kill me? Mother, do you know the man? Samuel, no. I have not seen the man before. And the man, too, had not seen me before. Mother, it was not the man who spoke, but the spirit in him. Samuel, of all the people in the crowd, why me? Why did he point me out to kill me? Mother, it is because you are a child of God. The spirit in the man knows you are one that belongs to God. People thought that man was out of his mind. What made his blood boil with anger at me? Was he a madman, as many thought he was? But in my mind it was quite the contrary. Initially, I was confused and could not understand it all, at that stage in time. After all, it was my first hair-raising experience. As I reflected on that incident years later, I was able to understand how spirits work against God's children. From then on, it always struck me how a ghost had spoken to me. It came crystal clear to my mind since then that I should discern spirits through listening more carefully to the words I hear from people, rather than seeing what was obvious to the natural eye.